Hello and welcome to Overwatch X League Week 3, Season 3. Got a nice Friday night matchup for you from the rivals here between the Spicy Boys and the Intangibles. I'm ready to get this game going. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper. Joining me in the commentary, Zach of Spades 26. How are you, Zach?
I'm doing pretty well. Glad to be here. Two really good teams. We've seen Intangibles before. This is my first time watching Spice Boys, so I'm excited to see what they're able to throw at us.
Yeah, it should be an exciting matchup. Spicy Boys looking for the first win of the season, coming in 0-2. Intangibles, I believe, 1-1. I could be mistaken, but I think they dropped to Winky Face in Wink 1. And then I think they got maybe a forfeit win last week. But looking for a good win here against Spicy Boys. Both ready to go. Everybody ready to play. And yeah, so without delay, we'll go to Dorado. For those of you that are unfamiliar, there's a themed setup this year, or this season rather, where we'll go every team and every tier will play on the same map to start, and the losing team will pick the second map in the best 2 out of 3. Zach, how do you feel about Dorado? What do you think?
I always like payload maps, just that straight kind of pure, just go in there, escort this payload. You have this one objective that you have to accomplish. The other team is obviously trying to stop you from moving, different strategies that are involved, but it's not quite as, segmented as, say, like a 2CP or a hybrid map. So I think it's going to be a really good, really good little test area for these two teams to come and meet today.
Definitely agree with that. Like we saw previously, if you're watching the game on Apple's SMK's channel, the game between Beats by Lucio and Revenant. Revenant coming away in that one 2-1. Zach and I both played for Beats. Very solid game. A lot of fun to play in, but difficult to lose. But also in the rival tier. This tier has a lot of teams really heating up. And yeah, just solid Overwatch action. Kind of getting separated a little bit. I think at the top of that tier, it's I think Winky Face is up there too now. I'll have to look at the rest of the standings to see. We did post standings on the website. You can go and check those out at OWXL.com. But back to this game on the left here, Spicy Boys defending first. Zerdius on Junkrat, Hyperspace Lowell going on a TK Rezix on Mercy, Flare on Gamer on Orisa, Calo Key on Soldier, and Arcanine 64 on Roadhog. For the attackers, Defiant Bust, Defiant Bust on Genji, Hank the Deuce on Zenyatta, Izanagi on Pharah, 1-1 run, going Mercy, Dr. Deuce on Diva, Spongy going Winston.
Yeah, really strong attack comp here. You've got the Winston and the Diva that can both kind of dive in. And they also have the Genji and the Fair as well. So they want to push forward. They're going to be aggressive as they possibly can right now to try to get as much leeway and progress on this as they can.
Yeah, and speaking of that aggression, we saw Diva and Winston kind of jump up there to the high ground, trying to dive some of those defenders, but still sitting up here and letting the payload kind of roll underneath the second section. Very good pull there from Roadhog, but not quite able to wrap up the kill. The attack continues to push the payload underneath the bridge. Now an early ult coming out here. The Junkrat tire from Zerdius will find Hank the Deuce on Zenyatta in the back, and that'll be encouraging for the defenders as they grab and sponge it as well. Kaliki answers, or rather falls for the defenders. Is not getting him back, but I think the kill feed kind of going in this way for the defense may shut down this attack, and they'll have to regroup.
Yeah, it was a good little hold there. I almost said that the attack got a little too far up there for the defense to be able to really take control of it. However, they were really good. They did a really good job of kind of grouping up as a team, pushing back down the side down that staircase, and just that Junkrat really did a really good job of pushing them back.
And now coming back in again and trying to take the control of that high ground, but Sponge falling early, and it will make it really difficult again for the attackers. Now getting res, forcing that res a little bit early, and now the attack may have a little bit more encouragement coming through. They do have the ult that Defiant Bust will use right here. It's the Dragonflame that does find Soldier, Calo Key, but Arcanine at 64 answering back with the whole hog for Spicy Boys, trying to push back some of these attackers successfully so, with Flare on Gamer adding in another one. Rezix will get the res on Soldier, but I don't know if it's enough for the attack. This defense continues to wrap up.
And again, we see them kind of moving on to the high ground, getting back to their little choke point, back to where they need to be to defend this push again. Really good coordination, I think, so far, and I like this this little defensive hold.
Yeah, It has been good for them now with 3 ults. The Valkyrie coming in from Resix here pretty soon already, available rather in the next fight. Flare on game with a Supercharger to maybe combine with that Tactical Visor. On the other side, Hank the Deuce looking to get in with that Transcendence, so it'll be important for the defenders to take out that Zenyatta early, knowing that'll be a priority. Now the Supercharger coming out here from Flare on Gamer. It's a self-destruct from Dr. Deuce. Connects on TK Resix. It's a big kill for them. It's now the Junkrat Tyrant from Xerdius coming in trying to find one. It's the Transcendence from Hank the Deuce, just kind of saving himself there, getting in, helping his team, and they're starting to get a few of these kills. Fight's still breaking out, and the defenders just holding on as long as they can.
Yeah, I think picking up that Mercy early was really helpful in them in this push, and now we see how aggressive they can really be, just starting to come out. The Winston ult comes out, the Valkyrie comes out as well. This should be their point to take.
Yeah, Resix coming in with a couple of reses, 1-1 run, also in Valkyrie pulling some as well. Fight really scrappy right here around the checkpoint as the time drops down below a minute. Continue to try and get some of these pulls, and it's difficult to tell who really has the advantage, but the attack's still pushing as long as they can. The defenders maybe trying to put up a little bit of defense, but I think they will be able to cap this point.
Yep, and there it is. Really good job by the Roadhog, doing his best to, try and hold that as long as possible. However, he does end up getting taken out at the end, and now they're going to have to regroup and find a new place to kind of hold if they want to stop this payload from getting to the second checkpoint.
And continue with that aggressive attack, like he was saying, now getting slept through. Dr. Deuce kind of caught on the high ground, maybe in a tough spot, but should be just fine. Trying to push back the defenders, see how far back the payload is behind them, and just trying to cause some problems. Now the self-destruct from Dr. Deuce gets pulled there and takes out 5. That was, I think it was a pull from Arcanine trying to get it out of the way, but behind the other side of the shield and just completely destroyed everyone. That is outrageous. Oh my goodness, that pull, I think that's what did it.
Yeah, it was behind the shield. Everyone moved away from it. It would have been completely nullified. Man, he's got to be beating himself up right now.
What a pull, and that's really difficult to contend with, but what can you do?
So now we see them kind of pulling here at this last little checkpoint, I guess the second checkpoint, see what they can do to get some picks. However, this triple tank attack is doing a really good job of just pushing the defense as far back as they could possibly go.
Yeah, now getting that checkpoint with 3 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock, still looking like they're in a really good spot to continue pushing this. Resit coming in with the Primal Rage, getting that defensive mercy early, that'll be a really good pick for them. And yeah, looking at the ult economy, still Hank the Deuce with a Transcendence again as Anagi with the Rocket Barrage could prove useful. But the Nano here combined with the Whole Hog from Arcanine could also help out the defenders, but the attack continues to push.
Yeah, it's kind of a they're holding pretty far back. I feel like to take this, although does come the Supercharger and the Winston ult as well as the Ana ult. So yeah, a lot of damage coming in. They are able to get 3 good picks, and the attack is going to have to kind of back up and regroup here, allowing the defense a little bit of room to push forward and set up on this payload.
Yeah, 2 minutes and 25 seconds for the attackers. 3 ults again, still with the 2 mentioned previously, but now the Valkyrie from 1-1 run, which should, again, prove useful. A Valkyrie on the other side from Resix, so they'll have to be conscientious about how they engage this point. Kaloki, the closest to an ult, everybody else just about in the single digits behind that Valkyrie, so not a lot to really defend too much with. The attackers are aware of who has which ults. They can come and engage here and maybe win this next fight, but we'll see how they begin. Xerdius in the back on Tracer trying to cause a little bit of problems, kind of poke back there, but not really finding too much success just yet. The attack a little bit tentative about how they push in. Zach, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I liked the the kind of push up top going in. However, they kind of got split. You see the Pharaoh Mercy go off one way, and the rest of her team kind of just sat back there. I would have liked to see them push up a little farther. However, it seems to have worked out well for them. The Rocket Barrage is able to get out Flare and Gamer, though he does get res immediately afterwards. That Valkyrie coming in really handy on the side from TK Rees. Another big self-destruct coming out, though. Not able to get anything this time. But the Supercharger also comes out. Both teams just throwing ults at this payload, trying to see what they can do to push it or keep it from being pushed a little bit farther. Looks like, though, this is going to be going the way of the attack team. That Valkyrie's still going on, and the Pharaoh just raining down missiles from the sky.
As they're just trying to stall and get some damage kills as long as possible. The attackers with that primal rage from Sponge are just trying to push back at the remaining defenders. No trouble for them. As 0.22 meters away, they continue to push off the defenders with 46 seconds on the clock. They cap the map.
Really aggressive, really strong pushes, really good coordination. This is the kind of Overwatch you want to see in this league.
And so now we'll have to see how Spicy Boys come back on their attack. Time in the bank for the Intangibles, so they'll have to be aggressive about how they come in as well. Yeah, what changes do you expect we'll see from Spicy Boys on their attack?
No, I'm really not sure. Attack can be, very different for defense as far as what your team comp is, what characters are good at using. The triple tank worked out really well on the side of the Intangibles. I wouldn't mind seeing that on the other side as well. I'm not really sure what they're going to have to do. The Pharah was a big problem. I'm sure they're probably not going to go Pharah on defense as well. But that big damage they're not really able to do anything against, I think they're going to have to change something in their comp that'll allow them to address that.
And now we see the defenders coming out. Defiant Bust on Soldier, Hank the Deuce on Moira, Izanagi on Roadhog, 1-1 run, again on Mercy, Dr. Deuce on Junkrat, Spongy going Orisa. For the attackers, Spicy Boys have Xerdius on Soldier, Hyperspace Low on Zenyatta, Rezix, Mercy, Flareon Gamer going Orisa, Calo Key on Reaper, Arcanine 64 on Winston. It's now taking that high ground position, just waiting to get a little bit of damage in the orb in from Moira, looking to kind of hurt those high ground attackers, but they have Moira as well, just looking to continue that healing. Kaliki switching off Reaper, not going Moira. I think I may have missed that as hyperspace low, now takes over the McCree roll, coming into the high ground, trying to cause some problems. Xerdius for the attackers, able to get the kill on Defiant Bust, but forcing the res out early from 1-1 run. Still a good push from the attack as the payload continues to move. The defense starts to pivot around to maybe meet them around the corner, and the fight really starts to break out here.
The attack is a little spread out though. They need to come back together if they really want to continue pushing this forward. And it looks like they do. They kind of fold in on the payload on this choke point and start pushing together. See Xerdius getting a pick, Flare and Gels gets a pick. Arcanine goes down though, and Xerdius also goes down from Dr. Deuce. So back and forth right now, both teams kind of trading.
Yeah, and both these Mercies doing a really good job of staying up and keeping the healing going. As I say, that Arcanine able to take down 1-1 run, and that will effectively end it for them. Good push from the attackers. They'll cap this point with 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. Get the additional time, 5 minutes 16 coming into the second section. And hyperspace low with an all. Flareon Gamer on the way. Xerdius not far behind, in a good position so far.
Yeah, they've got a really good ult economy right now, and I think that'll come out in their favor in this second little section.
Xerdius finds a little bit of trouble here with Junkrat, Dr. Deuce with an ult as well, looking for that high ground, maybe a pocket to try and use that tire and slow down the attack that's pushed really well so far. Nobody falling just yet, though, as the payload with one member continues to push. Now it is that tire coming out from Dr. Deuce. We'll see if he finds what he's looking for, and a support Kaliki falling, and that'll be a really encouraging stop there for the defenders as, again, the attack took that first point so quickly.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. It looks like the fight isn't really going on in the payload right now. They're around behind the building, everyone trying to get picks here and there to give their team an advantage. However, they do kind of move back to the payload. Orisa and Mercy both get taken down, as well as McCree. So, really good hold by the defense here. They're able to get, 3 big picks and stop this attack before it really even gets its feet on the ground.
It did kind of seem that it fell apart a little bit for the attack. It kind of trickled in to some extent, but now Xerdius here on the high ground looking for a good position to use that tactical visor, finds a little bit of trouble, and falls to just the ground there as he tries to use it, and doesn't really have a lot of opportunities to get those bullets in, going straight into Sponge's shield, but Defiant Bust showing him how it's done, coming in from behind, able to pick up a support on Rezix before being taken down by that attacking Orisa. Flareon Gamer grabbing a second, continuing to push the payload as hyperspace low, use that Deadeye to grab Hank the Deuce. the res used on Dr. Deuce and that 1-1 run gone, so they won't have any additional ones for this attack, or for the defense rather, and the attackers continue to push really strongly.
Yeah, the Supercharger kind of was a good effort, a little last-ditch hold, however, not really able to be enough to stop this attack, and they're able to take this second checkpoint.
Yeah, and Defiant Bus trying to maybe a little bit of damage in from the higher ground, but does get stopped there and will be staggered slightly. 1-1 run will be right behind him. God, his name's man. And now it's Nagi going out of mech, and Spicy Boys in a really good spot to continue this attack. It's really just, yeah, Intangibles having a really hard time staying on the feet.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really see a really strong front from them coming out here to try to, stop this payload and contend with all these people. We see the Winston on the side of Spice Boys just really doing his level best to distract them in the back, and I think it's working really well, just keeping their attention distracted as the rest of their team pushes forward.
And still triple tanking, but in a difficult spot as Spongy goes down. Defiant Bus also about to go out of back. 1-1 run gone, and it's really difficult position here for the defenders of Spicy Boys. Just continues this relentless push. 46 seconds on the clock for their opponents with 3 minutes and 50 seconds in their own time bank as they continue to push in this payload, and a fantastic response from Spicy Boys.
Yeah, that was huge. Just really good push, really aggressive. Did a really good job of, kind of pinching them and forcing them to focus on two different fronts at the same time, which eventually was their downfall.
And this is definitely the game I think we were looking for. Tightly contested, a little bit of time for both sides, but it's definitely the Intangibles disadvantaged with less than a minute on the clock. I guess getting up to a minute of the time adding for them, but definitely the difference in the time bank be difficult for them to contend with. A lot more time for Spicy Boys to move a little bit more slowly through this first section if they need to. Just gives them more flexibility. So what kind of comp do you think we'll see from this incoming attack?
I think from this incoming attack, man, I don't know. They did a really good job with the triple tank last time. So I don't see them doing anything too differently. The Pharah, I think, might be, focused down a little bit more. I mentioned earlier that she wasn't so much, and now we see Hyperspace is going to be going that McCree, hopefully trying to take her down quickly. So, yeah, I'm not sure they want to change too much because I do think they had a really good comp on that first push.
And you're right, Izanagi opting off the Pharah, now going to Soldier. We saw him play a little bit of Soldier in the Week 1 game against Winky Face. Definitely a highlight there for them. So see if that is the comp they need to push this. Obviously, like I said, disadvantaged. Trying to push as far as possible before putting on the defense of their lives to take this first round on Dorado. But all to play for is they continue to push. It's a little bit of high ground defense for Spicy Boys like you'd expect. Damage order coming in from Morris should be able to fade out, and now Zerdius getting the first kill on 1-1 run. That'll be really beneficial for the attackers, able to get that early pick. Now it's a 6v5, but the attackers do have the shorter respawn, so Intangibles looking to come back in with some strength. Got 30 seconds on the clock, and a little bit of room to work with as the payload starts to creep underneath this bridge.
Yeah, what do you think about the lack of a shield tank on the side of Intangibles right now? Nothing to really defend against all the damage that Spice Boys is, really shelling out on them.
Well, I think it's not working, and the kill feed agrees. Zerdius there with a fantastic triple, able to wipe the team 10 seconds. They won't have a lot of time to put in a very good attack. The payload does not move very far. Sponge falls very quickly, and mirroring the efforts of the Intangibles will be Spicy Boys coming in with a very solid defense and not a lot of work to do to cap this game on Dorado.
Yeah, almost 4 minutes, and they don't even have to get it all the way to the first checkpoint. They should be able to play this smart and play this, they should be able to take this pretty easily.
They're definitely in pole position to take this first game on Dorado. Should they do so, Intangibles will have the second pick. We'll see what they come out with, but definitely the opportunity to put on the essentially, would have to be a full hold, an impressive defense were they able to do so, but definitely a hill to climb.
We do see them, doing the Orisa Bastion comp, trying to put as much damage into the attackers as possible. I like that. However, I do think the Winston, if they don't kind of peel for the Winston as easily and lose their focus, I think they might actually, be able to take this.
comms coming out. Zerdius, if you're interested, if he does actually go that Widowmaker. Hyperspace Lull on McCree. Rezzik's going Mercy once again. Flare and Gamer on Orisa. Kalokey, Orisa, Arcanine 64. They don't have a lot to do, and Zerdius in a really difficult spot, getting focused down, and only has 5 health. Switch off this, we get a little bit more a view of the action, but already the kills going the way of Intangibles, doing a really good job of defense, picking those 2 up early and forcing the res early on Flareon Gamer. Arcanine answering one back on Izanagi, and as the payload starts to creep up, the defenders from the Intangibles really can't afford to lose anybody else. The res coming out on that Soldier to try and keep them bolstered. Dr. Deuce helping out on Bash and getting Arcanine 64, and it will be the attack. I think maybe having to back off here.
Yeah, they're bashing when he's getting in position. He's moving around too much. He's getting too far off of the Orisa shields. He needs to get in position and start dealing some damage if they want to take this point. Or prevent them from taking this point. My apologies.
We'll get a couple kills in early. Rezzik's getting the res on Hyperspace Lull. Still the attack really strong. Kalokey in a tough spot, able to fade away before the hook comes in from Defiant Bust. He gets taken down instead, and it does look like they're in a really good position with Coalescence coming out from Kalokey and Mercy getting hunted down in the back. She will fall 4.62 meters away from the payload as the Primal Rage comes out from Arcanine to continue pushing away the rest of these straggling attackers. And now as the Supercharger comes in from the defenders, it could be just what they need, but end up paying out for them. Spicy Boys come through with the win on Dorado.
Yeah, really showed up, really strong, really aggressive pushes, and yeah, this is, like you mentioned, this is the kind of Overwatch that we want to see. This is a great game.
Dr. Deuce with this bomb, and I think this was just the pull here. It was behind the shield, and it was going to be pretty well protected. The pull here from Arcanine just helping out there. I think clearly should get an assist for all those kills, but only a solid 5. And fun to watch, but Spicy Boys coming away with that win. We get a couple post-match thoughts to look ahead to the next map that will be the Intangibles pick. I will be right back. And welcome back. Wow, 4 rounds on Dorado, saw Spicy Boys go up 4-3 against the Intangibles, and halfway to their first victory of the season. Lijiang Tower, the pick coming out from the Intangibles, and yeah, really need to bounce back here. We often do see a scrappier control point come out for the second map, and in the last game, at least this year, it definitely worked out for them, able to get the win on Lijiang. Revenant was come back and win that third map, so definitely a chance for Intangibles to claw their way back into this game, and this might be the ticket. Zach, what do you think of Lijiang?
I think it's a good answer. Not saying they didn't do well in Dorado. Obviously, taking into extra rounds was big for them, but I think just kind of focusing straight on the fights, getting your picks, controlling a point will be a refreshing change of pace for them, and will allow them to kind of regroup, get their comms back in order, and make a fight for winning this game.
Definitely the opportunity here to bring it back. Just make sure we have the readies from both sides. I don't think there should be any substitutions. But again, if you'd like to catch any of the games that we've streamed throughout the week so far, you can catch those either on our stream, or if you go to the website, the games have been played throughout the week have links directly to their videos on Twitch, so no need to go look around. Next week we'll be on Hanamura, and we'll get a few of the exciting matchups from next week. well, towards the end of this stream. We're just looking to make sure everyone's ready to go.
Now arriving at Yijang Tower.
Right, on to Legion Tower. Again, I think this will be a good chance for again Intangibles to get back into this game for a big there as well. So multiplayer here.
Yeah, like I mentioned, just regrouping, kind of clearing your head, shaking that off, and pushing forward will, I think, really ensure this win for them, because they are a good team. They have a lot of, really good strategies. They have a lot of really good players on their team, and I think this is an easy, I wouldn't say easy game for them to win, but they're definitely capable of winning this game.
Yeah, I completely agree. Looking to get the job done here, starting on the Blues Control Center first. Comms coming out very quickly. Rezik's auto-locking that Mercy. Ready to get in and continue doing some solid support for Spicy Boys now in the red. Flareon Gamer switching off the arrestor for the more mobile Reinhardt. Calo Key going again Moira. Arcanine 64 on Zarya. Zerdius on Tracer. Hyperspace Lowell still undecided. Probably looking at a DPS player. For the blue team, the Intangibles trying to get back into the game. Defiant Bust on Genji. Hank the Deuce going Moira. 1-1 run. Switching off Mercy to the Lucio. Izanagi choosing Roadhog. Dr. Deuce on Reaper. Sponge it going Winston.
I always liked working with you, Winston. No awkward small talk.
Always liked working with you too. You have great sense of humor.
Hey.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Both teams coming out very quickly to point. It's 1-1 run with the Lucio for Intangibles that will help them probably get to the point a little bit more quickly. Though, as I say, it looks like they meet in the middle. Lucio may have been left behind there just a little bit. But now coming in behind the big Reinhardt shield from Flareon Gamer. Spicy Boys looking to get the damage in early. Nobody falling just yet. Bit of a scrappy fight on the point. Opening here about 7 seconds. Arcanine the first to fall here for Spicy Boys. Intangibles in a good position, forcing that res early. Hyperspace Lowell drops as well, and they can only pick up one. So I think it will be Intangibles to be able to cap this point first. And that's a positive response for them.
Yeah, really aggressive. I liked how they're able to kind of, focus the targets they needed to. The Moira did a really good job of keeping everyone healed while the DPS were pushing onto those tanks and the rest of their team. So, really good showing so far from the Intangibles.
Yeah, Dr. Deuce on Reaper taking no prisoners, just plowing directly into the Spicy Boys team and just shredding straight through them. They have a lot of respawns to hold off on before deciding to re-engage. It's 25% gone for the Intangibles, and I think Lijiang was a good pick for them if this first few seconds is any indication.
I do notice they switched off of the Reinhardt, decided the shield tank wasn't really effective enough for them, and so now they do have a Roadhog and a Zarya, so should be interesting to see how they kind of change up their strategy from that.
The Defiant Bust with the Graviton here directly into that Coalescence, not really worried about it, able to take down TK Rezix, who was 2% away from a Valkyrie, so a very big pick for them. So they continue to push Spicy Boys back. 60% of the point, rather, almost gone. They continue to push back into the spawn, getting the kills. But now Sponge it falls. Arcanine getting the best of that Winston. They may have to retreat, as now they could be disadvantaged. We'll see if Spicy Boys take advantage of that number difference.
Yeah, it might have been a bit, I don't know, premature to pop that Winston ult. They had already won the point, already pushed him back almost all the way to their spawn. In pushing himself forward, he, kind of died. And that was Spicy Boys pushing forward. The Graviton comes out. He's able to not really get anybody. Dr. Deuce is able to get 2, though. Dr. Deuce also getting Arcanine. So 3 big picks there. Defiant Bus getting 2 as well. Yeah, this is Intangibles doing a really good job of just holding on to this point.
Yeah, it's been a very strong fight from them. They haven't looked like really getting overtaken, even when slightly disadvantaged. They're coming to the next section, but as this point eclipses 99-100%, Spicy Boys can't even get close. And that's a good first round win for the Intangibles.
Yeah, complete shutout. They did a great job of kind of staying together as a team. And you mentioned, I think it was Defiant Bus who's on the Reaper, just doing a really good job of putting as much damage into Spicy Boys as possible, and it pays off very well for them.
Yeah, and again, the control point, a good map pick for them. Trying to force that third round after falling in a close game on Dorado.
Sorry,
right here and force that
just
third round.
Not Defiant Bus, Dr. Deuce. Too many D names. Just, yeah. Defiant Bus, though, also doing a very good job on Genji. Getting some good picks, getting around behind them, and notice he had multiple charges that came in very clutch.
It's now coming out hyperspace low on the Lucio, trying to answer 1-1 run speed, mobility for their team. Callow keeps switching to Pharah, trying to get that damage. It's generally a pretty good Pharah round. Flareon Gamer getting kill on 1-1 run early, and the Intangibles already in a hole. Now both Lucios down, Zerdius falls once more, so it's the Intangibles still with the 5v4 advantage. Rez coming on a hyperspace lull, and that'll keep Spicy Boys a little more bolster on the point. Maybe I think it's still tied up, but yeah, it's still Intangibles with the kind of positioning to, I think, win this fight. Now it's Spicy Boys coming back in pretty strongly. Hyperspace lull going down again, and I think it's Intangibles. I think they do have the numbers to hold on to this one.
Possibly. We see how well that Winston is able to do. However, he does end up taking down. Spicy Boys is, kind of pushing on now. We see the Intangibles, 2 different strategies starting off here. The Intangibles pushing straight to point and trying to hold front point, and Spicy Boys pushing on 2 point, having a little bit more, space to back off, a little more cover to do as much damage as possible. And it looks like it ends up paying off well for them. That Orisa pick seems to be very beneficial for them as far as putting down damage and protecting her team.
Yeah, well, clearly I spoke too soon. Spicy Boys coming in, wrapping up that point very quickly and going straight to work, getting the kills they need to continue pushing back the Intangibles. 1-1 run, the latest victim, and Flareon Gamer positioned really well to get the kills and prevent these attackers from really getting close to the point. 30% gone for them in a good position, and still continuing to zone out these Intangibles players like a sheepdog almost. Oh, fantastic wipe.
Ooh. Yeah, really good grab. You do see the Moira try to, kind of save him with her ult, just spin around in circles, however, not really able to do anything. Their entire team basically gets wiped, and they're forced to reset.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate to get caught there, but a fantastic graviton from Flareon Gamer and good combination from the Spicy Boys to answer right back. 56% of the point gone, and Intangibles, again, having a difficult time really getting close to the point. They have to switch up their comp just a little bit, or maybe their approach. It's exactly what they try, and the hold not quite successful enough to pull them off the high ground. They continue to push, but again, getting kind of killed in the feed there as Anagi going down, and once again, Intangibles disadvantage as the control point tops over 70%.
And we do see Dr. Deuce switch onto that McCree to try to do with that Pharah that's giving them so much trouble right now. They can't even really get a foothold right now with that Pharah just, pounding into them, or shooting. You know what, we'll just skip that. But as it continues on, we do see the sound barrier come out, try to get a little push. They do, they kind of back off though. They need a push right there. Spicy Boys is able to get 2 big picks. The Supercharger comes out, and as well as the Tranquility trying to push on. Spongeit is on the point though, trying to back out as much as he can. It's with the Moira, however, Moira gets taken down, Spongeit gets taken down. Genji is the only one left, and then he gets taken down. Yeah, this looks like this is definitely going the way of Spicy Boys.
Yeah, fantastic answer to them. Obviously getting rolled a little too hard on that first round, coming right back and doing the very same. 100-0 cap for them over the Intangibles. And yeah, all to play for here in the final round. Now a little bit dicier for the Intangibles. If they lose this round, they will lose the game completely. Spicy Boys already won up after that game on Dorado, so important for them to get the win here and force that third map. Yeah, Spicy Boys showing they came to play, and they'd rather do it in 2.
And I'm kind of surprised that they're not running the Pharah again, really, since he, kind of runs such ran such a clinic right now, that last map, and since this map has so much open area, I almost expected to see a Pharah. However, this time, Kalki is opting to go Soldier, just putting a little more damage in. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this third and final round shapes out.
And almost as if he predicted it. Now it's Defiant Bust on the Reaper instead of Dr. Deuce. Now going Tracer, looking to get the damage in. Behind the speed of 1-1 run, without the Lucio on the other side. Now to get to the point first, the Intangibles looking to stake their claim early. Shields out for both tanks though as the fight breaks out. 6 seconds before the control point opens and nobody falling just yet. A lot of healing on the side of the Intangibles, but again, Player and Gamer looking to group all of them up and get a lot of that damage through. Now as the control point opens, the fight continuing to go back and forth. Both teams staying alive, and Scotty, you have to credit the supports here for keeping both of their teams up. The Coalescence already coming out here for Hank the Deuce before the control point even is taken over, and his Tactical Visor on the other side as well. I think from Callow Key trying to get a little bit of damage. It is Intangible starting to take the point. They have about 66% of it or so as the ult on either side. The control point's not even taken yet. 1-1 run with the Sound Barrier trying to keep the rest of Intangibles up. Kills again now, swapping either side. It looks like Spice Boys maybe wrap this up. I think they have the advantage.
Yeah, I think it was 4 ults used in the frame of time before the point was even captured. So very impressive, like you mentioned. On the side of the supporters, keeping everyone alive, and the side of the DPS just doing as much damage as possible.
Yeah, and it is Spicy Boys able to cap that point first after a very long initial fight. Tangibles now back and bolstered, coming back in and trying to engage quickly to avoid too much percentage gone for them.
And we do see Izanagi switching to the fire now. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of open space on this map, so it kind of plays to fire's strength. The Mercy as well, kind of pocketing her makes it that much better. So yeah, the fight starts to break out again. Started coming from the back. Out comes the Supercharger, as well as a Coalescence, just doing everything they can to put as much damage on the side of the Intangibles as possible. And it looks like it's paying off for them. You see the kill feed just going their way.
Yeah, Hyperspace low with a couple kills with that Coalescence. Supercharger definitely helping out, and really solid hold there for Spicy Boys. A little bit at the point, maybe threatening to come across for the Intangibles, but pushed directly back. And again, now as they come up across 50% or so, Intangibles in a bit of a tough spot.
And even using those ults, you see Xerxes almost has his ult, Rezix has his ult, Kalaki has his ult, Arcanine has her ult. So yeah, they are kind of winning this ult economy right now. We kind of just need to see a dry push from the side of Intangibles if they want to build their ults, maybe bait out 1 or 2 on the side of Spicy Boys in order to take this point, because they still have enough time to do so.
It'll have to be a quick push, however, 70% gone for the current defenders, expecting that bridge side, but Izanagi trying to come in through the back. The defenders will rotate, however, to try and catch that Pharah off guard and take part of the fight. And it looks like a bit of too much of a deliberation here from Spicy Boys. They need to engage a bit more quickly if they want to have time for more than one fight. This very well may be the last one.
Out comes the Coalescence, out comes an answering Dragon Blade, as well as a Graviton, as well as a Attack Visor. So they're kind of like throwing everything out there right now. The Valkyrie comes out as well, the Winston comes out. Like you mentioned, this is going to be the last fight if they are not able to take this point. But it looks like the kills are kind of going this way. Defiant Buzz, Dr. Deuce, and Izanagi all getting quick picks, and it forces Spice Boys to kind of back off.
And finally getting the kills there, and you're exactly right, throwing everything at it, all those ults used, finally able to cap back the point, but still a bit of a mountain to climb, already 99% for the for Spicy Boys rather, and if they're able to come back in and win just really one team fight, this game's over.
So we see them leading off with that Orisa, followed close behind with Zarya, trying to put as much damage in as possible. That barrier, I think, is really coming in handy on Spicy Boys. Just, they're doing a really good job of grouping up behind it, and it prevents the Intangibles from really being able to get any picks on the side of Spicy Boys before this pushing starts.
And that Coalescence didn't even render on my screen somehow, but able to come in, get a couple, causing some problems. Now Spicy Boys really coming back at the point. The defender's in a difficult spot, and I don't think they'll be able to answer this back. 99% gone for them, and overtime meter begins to tick down. Trying to get a last-second contested sponged on Winston, flying in with 1-1 run, trying to keep that tank alive as long as possible, but the Supercharger from Valerian Gamer will make it very difficult. Melted down quickly as Dr. Deuce on Tracer continues the contest. Spicy Boys know they just need to take down that pesky flanker and be able to win this game, but it looks like Intangibles was able to stream back in. Callow Keep trying to prevent that from happening with the Tactical Visor grabbing Hank the Deuce, and I think, yeah, just a last-ditch effort, but Spicy Boys should be able to wrap up here on Legion.
Yep, really good game, really good set. That Tracer, Dr. Deuce, props to him. He tried his level best to contest that as long as possible and allow the rest of his team to make it back to the point. However, just wasn't able to do quite enough with the entire team focusing him down. And yeah, that will be the game. Arcanine, you see this great Graviton. The attempted Coalescence to try to answer it, however, not able to be quite enough, and they were able to take this point.
A really impressive game from Spicy Boys, again getting their first win of the season in stylish fashion and taking Intangibles down 2-0. So we'll get some post-match thoughts here in just a second. We'll be right back. So there you have it, Spicy Boys taking the win over the Intangibles 2-0. Very strong showing from them. 4-3 on Dorado and a 4-round brawler coming out of Lijiang. And yeah, looked a little tough for them in that second game. They were able to take the third. That score actually won 2-1 there. But yeah, solid game between both of these teams. They now their new records in Intangibles will fall to 2-1 rather, or rather 1-2. Sorry, Spicy Boys up to 1-2. So tied here in a very hotly contested rival tier. Looking ahead for both of these teams, it'll be the Intangibles taking on Positive Toxicity. Looking really good, and this year so far, I think actually both of their wins have come from forfeits. So 2-0, but still all to play for against the Intangibles, proving they deserve a spot at the top of the tier. Atlas B up against Spicy Boys. Atlas B doing well so far, 1-1, and looking to continue that momentum. Looking ahead from this, just this weekend, Sunday, Big Throws and Eternity Esports facing off 9 p.m. Eastern. I think there's actually 3 games simultaneously Sunday. So we'll try and make sure all those get streamed and we get those VODs up on the Twitch channel for you so you can watch those back. But Big Throws Eternity Esports Champion tier, 9 p.m. Eastern, also at that same time. It's Hogpen Esports against Daddyland. And from the Challenger tier, Squaw versus Making Plays. Sunday before then, Legacy and Ryan's Reject, 6 p.m. Eastern, also from the Challenger tier. So 4 games Sunday, all the OWXL action you could possibly want, and it should be a lot of fun. But Zach, any final thoughts on the game?
I would just kind of echo what you said earlier. The score, I don't think, really reflects how this game was played. The Intangibles did a really good job. They were able to take it to extra rounds in the first map and bring it into 3 rounds for Lijiang Tower. However, in the end, just wasn't quite enough. I think the Orisa on the side of Spicy Boys, was kind of a game changer for them. They didn't have a great answer for it, and the Orisa just did a really good job of simultaneously protecting her team and putting a lot of damage into Intangibles, especially with her superchargers, which I couldn't even tell you how many of those that she was able to get. So yeah, but both teams, really showed a really great game all the way around, and I'm looking forward to seeing both these teams play in the future.
Yeah, player and gamer getting the shout out there on the Orisa, and yeah, definitely nice to see Spicy Boys on stream for the first time. But again, congratulations to them for getting the win and getting the first win of the season. I think that will just about do it for us. So yeah, for Sack Space 16 and the OWXL, Salt and Pepper, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.